Hey guys, welcome back to the Doremicom blog channel. The design discussion continues on how exactly I'm going to be building this huge APOC table. I'm going to show you an evolution of design as far as how the platforms were going to be configured. If this is again our 6x8 table, when I first approached this project, my concern after playing a lot of APOC games was how people that were standing over here were going to reach models in the middle of the table or about the table. So the original idea that I had was this notion of creating platforms that simply cut across the table. Now the problem with this design is that it really kind of cheats the whole idea that we're trying to go for, and that is this notion of very playable second tier of terrain. So as I continued to develop the idea, I started coming up with the notion of creating an additional tower on either end. This gave the sense of surface area on top of which to play the game, but it really didn't seem super playable. And slowly but surely the design started to build out in this fashion, where every single node had at least two roads upon which the people could take. Problem with this again is as you continue to build out bridges and whatnot, accessing these models on the base table becomes problematic. On top of which, the distance between these bridges becomes so immense that you're left with so much support structure underneath here that the bridges effectively become a wall upon which people can't pass through. So let's talk about another concept idea that we wanted to avoid, John and I wanted to avoid, and this was the notion of the valley. Okay, so if we create this two-level terrain where this is all on the second layer, and this is all on the second layer, and this is all the base table, if we create this notion of a valley, then we're not really succeeding in creating a double-decker APOC table, right? Because models can't fit underneath this raised platform area since it's just the side of a mountain. So we're not actually succeeding in that regard. So started talking with some of the players who you've seen on my channel, one of them being Dale, the Necron player. And he started talking to me about doing an arrow design where it kind of worked out like this. And again, it does give you the sense of a platform area, but it doesn't really... Again, I kind of feel like it's that original design up here where we're kind of cheating the idea a little bit. So, after having a little bit more time to think about it, I've decided to approach it this way. Where here is the table. We'll create three platforms here, and actually, let me redo this a little. Let me start on this side. We'll end up creating three platforms. This allows players to stand on multiple sides to reach forward and find models underneath. Plus, the fact that these guys are pretty grouped close together, the amount of structure that you need support for the bridges is a little bit less. Now, as I'm counting the number of platforms, originally starting with 4 and eventually working my way up to 8, now when I'm counting this, it's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 platforms minimum in order to make this happen. So, could there be some variation here? Of course, we might turn this into one bigger platform, turn this into one bigger platform. But the core concept, maybe even take this middle piece and make it a really big platform. But again, the surface area that we deal with for each platform becomes more and more difficult to ensure stability on top of the platform. So these are just some of the complications that we're dealing with, and I started testing out some ideas. One of the problems that I'm having goes back to the PVC piping support, and again trying to find that perfect surface area that I can kind of cap it with on either side, because if I have polystyrene without something here, then you have the problem of, if there's too much weight on either side, that the PVC pipe, because it's more dense than the polystyrene or the styrofoam, pops right through. Now, of course, I can make this super thick and it would take more time, but again, it's a question of trying to make sure that it's stable on top. It's stable from the standpoint that it won't tip. It's stable from the standpoint that whatever the support structure is doesn't pop through. It's stable from the standpoint that once we start attaching bridges to it, that again, it doesn't tip. It's stable from the standpoint that the bridge structure is safe and doesn't pop down. One of the ideas that was brought to me, my attention by Dale, was introducing the notion of using arcs to support the structure and distribute the weight straight down to the table. And again, this is a really great idea. The problem that I have if I use my original design up here is that the arcs themselves, let's say they're made with, you know, a thicker piece of polystyrene that we cut straight down into and then glue multiple times, you have more complication reaching underneath the bridge to move some model that's just on the other side. So I'm hoping that by introducing this as the overall table design, that we're able to minimize how many of these arcs we have to use and or remove them altogether based on the distances between the various platforms. But again, then we have to deal with stability on an individual platform structure. So just giving you guys an update. I ended up making a quick trip out to Lowe's and to Michael's and a couple of other places looking for some of these pieces to the puzzle. And as it stands right now, I've decided that I'm not very good at driving videos, and if I get the courage, I might go ahead and show you why that is the case. But as it stands right now, just trust me on that. That's it. Hope you guys are having a good day, and I will talk to you soon. Later. Bye.